Judy, I understand that you guys are pretty famous for your ricotta gnocchi.
We are, really are. It's one of my favorite things. We've been serving it at Zuni since I got here, at least 20 years ago. And it's based on a traditional recipe from Florence, like a lot of our food is, actually. Eric is one of the best gnocchi makers around. We start with fresh ricotta cheese. We take it out of the container, press it overnight in a strainer to a little bit more water. Then you're going to see he's going to press it through the fine holes of this food mill. You could do it through a strainer at home. It's not difficult at all. This is 8 pounds, but most people will make a pound.
Yeah.
Or even 8 ounces. So we push it through the sieve, and that's going to get rid of any little chunks of curd, so that we'll get a really light, creamy, fluffy texture.
That is really incredible the way it's such a finely shredded.
Right. It's just pushed through the food mill, just like you're making mashed potatoes.
I add the eggs and the Parmesan next.
Oh, wow, look at that. I've never seen that before.
Nice, huh?
What a great
no
thing
power
to
mixer
do.
broken.
I love that technique.
Good food was made before there was electricity.
That's very true.
Right. So that's
Which
about
one?
2 eggs per pound of ricotta. And then that's Reggiano, Parmigiano, a little bit of salt. And you notice the eggs were cracked but not beaten much.
Yes.
If you beat the eggs too much before you add them to the gnocchi, they're not going to make as nice, fluffy a gnocchi. We want to beat them in with the cheese so you don't overbeat them.
And what kind of texture are you looking for? When do you know that it's actually...
Smooth and fluffy.
I see.
And you'll see, we'll be testing our premise pretty soon.
And it's really important to whisk this in very quickly or the fat will start to crystallize and then you get little crystals
You get little
in the
Globs of
dumpling.
butter?
unmelted butter.
I
Yeah,
see,
it has to
okay.
go right in.
And what you look for when you do this is you look at the way it comes away from the sides of the bowl. And when it starts to come away from the sides of the bowl cleanly, you know you're getting
I see.
right about the consistency we want.
What kind of taste are you looking for? How do you know that it's ready to go?
I'm looking for it to be just seasoned. I don't want it to taste salty, but I want to know that there's some salt in there and not just be tasting cheese and butter.
I see.
So what's happened here is he's used a spoon. So look at that beautiful little egg shape. And then it's just sitting in a little all-purpose flour just to coat the surface. We don't want it to soak up a lot of flour because then it'll be like it's in a suede coat. At this point, we'll put them on a sheet pan and refrigerate them. And they'll hold quite comfortably for 5 or 6 hours. So you can see the little bit of flour is going to make it really pretty easy to pick them up. You want to cook them in a pot where if they're all floating on the surface at once, they're not on top of you. They can all fit. That's your
Okay.
measure. Okay.
So how long do they cook in the boiling water?
It's usually from the time the gnocchi falls in the water, it'll take 30, 45 seconds to float, and that's when you start timing it. And it can be anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how warm the gnocchi are, how big they are, how small they are. As they come to the surface, they start to puff up a little bit. Now you can tell when they're done because as we lift them up, they don't fall on themselves. They stay plump, which means the egg in the center is cooked. And you can see they're perfectly cooked because they didn't break.
So would this be something that someone could make, say they make the gnocchi and put it in the fridge in the morning and then come back at night?
And then just take them out of the pot, little melted butter, put them in the plate. They only take a few minutes, so you don't want to cook them in advance. There's no need to. There we go.
Wow, the perfect dish from Zuni Cafe. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Eric. Thank you, Judy. Thank
Hungry,
you.
anyone?